Hey YouTube family, Roshad Lamar here. I appreciate y'all checking out another one of my videos. If you're enjoying this content, do me a favor, go ahead and click that subscribe button. What's up YouTube family? You may not recognize me with the costume on, but you know who it is. It's Miles Morales, of course. No, I'm kidding guys. It's Roshad Lamar here. We're doing this review. Shout out to the homie Geogram for letting me borrow his costume. This is not mine, but he let me borrow it so I could do this review. It took a long ass time to zip this thing up, but I learned a new trick today. Zipped it up all on my own, no help. Let's go. So let's get started and talk about the review for Spider-Man Miles Morales. Let's get it, y'all. Woo-hoo, shit. Woo-hoo. Okay. We're gonna cover the usual topics, folks. So we're gonna talk about like graphics, gameplay, soundtrack, all that good stuff. So let's get started with graphics first. Amazing, mind blown, everything looks awesome in this game. There's a couple little mistakes here and there and some glitches, which I don't know if it has something to do with the transition between PS4 and PS5 or that's just how things panned out. But overall, the graphics are amazing. Backdrops, stages, all tight, characters, amazing looking. Very, very, very hard to find any jagged and pointy edges and all that stuff. Just really awesome looking graphical fidelity, right? Everything looks amazing. So you'll definitely have to check it out and see for yourself. There's all these special different effects like snowing effects, like the daytime system changes throughout the day. So you get all these different lighting effects. Really amazing environments.
And look, I'm upset as hell. I should have been played the last game. This is tight. All these damn tricks and shit. I think I'm starting to get the hang of this mud. Okay. Wow, that's just tight. That is just tight. Man, that's unbelievable. Look at them lights, man. It's like real New York.
Let's get into the story real quick. You got this evil corporation, Roxxon. Yeah, not Oscorp, Roxxon. Whole different organization this time. Yes, there's another evil organization besides Oscorp. So you got Roxxon, then you got this terrorist organization known as the Underground. Underground hates Roxxon, Roxxon hates the Underground, and I'm just like, can't we all just get along?
How can they have a shootout with this many civilians around? I gotta step in.
Spider-Man's working with Roxxon. I know it!
You guys gotta take this fight off the streets. Maybe go to Jersey. Sorry, Jersey. I didn't mean it. Love you.
To make matters worse, the original Spider-Man, Peter Parker, he's made a beeline off to Europe somewhere or something.
I'm not gonna be around for the next few weeks.
Is this some kind of pee joke I don't get?
So he's gone, and I'm here fending for myself, trying to take care of all of New York, and man, do they make it difficult. And everybody's clowning me because I'm not the real Spider-Man. And I'm like, yo, I am Spider-Man. I'm just, you know, second generation. It's all good, fam.
Real Spider-Man might have been a challenge.
New Spider-Man's really got zappy fingers.
Let's talk characters real quick, y'all. You got my best friend Genki. Then you got my other best friend who I haven't seen in ages, Finn. You got my mom, Rio. You got my uncle. And there's also a couple big surprises. Some returning characters and some returning bad guys previously. For the bad guys, the main folks in this game, you got like the Rhino, the Prowler, and the Tinkerer, all of which give me serious hell in this game. It gets crazy.
Don't come after my friends, or I will come after you.
let's get into the gameplay. Pew pew! You basically go around as Spider-Man and you just web sling, and you know, you can do all these fancy tricks in the air and get style points and all this stuff. I will admit, I didn't play the first Spider-Man game yet. I do own the game. This is my first time playing this series of Spider-Man games. So it took me a while to get used to all the web slinging, you know, and I kept making all these crazy mistakes, but you know, there's some challenges toward the beginning. They teach you how to play the game, you know, and how to do certain things. Like there's the webbing challenges where they test you for speed using your webbing, so that helped me to increase my speed a lot. There's some stealth challenges, and there's some combat challenges, all of which are pretty tough to get the highest scores possible.
Oh my God, why are you webbing? Get up there! What the? Oh man, look, I wasn't even close. You motherfucker! Ah!
Let's talk about all the different things you can do in this game, and trust me, there's a lot. You can find tech points, you go around finding capsules throughout the city. There's these lab raids, there's these underground hideout raids, there's lots of different things beyond that. There's the main story, some crimes in progress. There's just so many different things you can do. If you're just looking to just have fun and just play the game, you're gonna be playing for a long time.
Wow, man, it is never ending, man. There's so much to do. I'm with it.
Let's get into some of the more juicy stuff, right? So the combat of the game. There's a lot of combat elements of this game. You know, there's the basic, just go around punching and kicking enemies. You can web them and do all these fancy web attacks, finishing moves. You know, you can call out these little drones to fight on your behalf, and they beat the crap out of enemies for a period of time. You can drop electromagnetic bombs that like blow up and electrocute your enemies. You also have these venom attacks. So Miles Morales has like these static shock style abilities in this game where he can like electrocute the hell out of enemies, and it is so satisfying. They give him quite a few abilities where he can do this, like one where he like jumps into the air like a freaking like a giant uppercut, like kind of reminds me of Super Mario when he does his little upward uppercut in the Mario games. So he has like a tackle where he like electro tackles enemies, looks badass, of course, in a big electric punch. Really crazy stuff, really powerful, required to really master some of these abilities toward the end of the game. I played on the hardest difficulty available at the time, which I believe is the second hardest. There is an even harder one later on. But really fun combat, lots of different things that you can do. You can also upgrade a lot of the abilities that you have, make them better, make your webbing have different effects, make your gadgets last longer, be stronger, all sorts of different things, and unlock more powerful venom abilities than the ones you have. It sounds powerful already, and they are, but you can get even stronger ones as you progress the game. And I think there's even some secret stuff for when you finish the game that's even stronger than anything. So, lot to unpack there with the combat. It's a lot of fun. I will admit, it's a little repetitive sometimes, but overall, there's a lot of different things you can do, and if you really know all the moves and take advantage of everything, it doesn't have to be repetitive. It's as repetitive really as you make it. If you're on a harder difficulty, you can take advantage of needing to utilize more elements.
All right, squad up, squad up. Boom! Oh, they killed that bitch! Stupid ass.
Let's talk about the enemy variety, shall we? So there's a couple different variety of enemies. Now this one's gonna come down to opinion on whether or not you think there's enough enemies. Some people are gonna say that there's too few types. Some people are gonna say there's plenty of different types. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think there could have been a little bit more, but I think that they hit a nice sweet spot with it as well. So there's regular bad guys with just regular guns, or they might have some sort of bat or something that they're trying to hit Spider-Man with. Those are like the weakest type of guys you face. You get into like the Roxxon and the underground folks. The underground folks start having these really heavy artillery weapons where they like shoot freaking bazookas at Spider-Man and blow the hell out of him and kill him in like 2 hits on the harder difficulties. And then you got some of the folks from the underground who have weapons that are really crazy and specifically catered towards the destruction in the end of Spider-Man. Now those guys pack a punch. They got crazy swords where they look like they're the regular length swords, but they like extend like longer than the screen. Like really, really crazy. They got some enemies with these knuckles where they like block everything, and if you keep punching at them, eventually they'll just knock you the hell out. It's actually kind of funny if you just try to cheese the game, like, okay, I'm just gonna mash the button, and then they're just like, got your dumbass, right? So that's a lot of fun to figure out how to get around those. There's also like these big brooding enemies that also happen to have weapons, like one with a big ass axe and just jumps into the air and hits the ground, and everything around just kind of explodes, and if you don't dodge it, then you're pretty much finished. So they have some pretty good enemy variety. You can't just kill them all the same way. You gotta develop some strategies. There's a lot of stealth elements in the game where you can web enemies up and stuff like that, and you gotta be careful not to get caught. They're really pretty elaborate. They even check up on the enemies. One of the things I always wondered about is in stealth games, nobody, for the most part, goes back looking for the guy who disappeared. Like, hey, what happened to this guy? But in this game, they will. They'll do these checkups, and if they're not there, they'll say, hey, go check on this person. And then you're like, oh, fuck.
Guys, someone's picking us up!
RX-73, all clear in your sector? No response. Check it out.
Fuck.
Copy. Checking his position.
Right, so you gotta be really strategic, and you gotta be quick. And if you just try to go in and just face off against everybody on the harder difficulties, you're gonna get your ass kicked, and you're probably not gonna win unless you're like extremely good with the combat, dodge the hell out of everything, and on that just seems like it's extremely difficult. So I suggest doing a combination of both. Definitely doing as much stealth as possible, and if you inevitably get caught, there's so few enemies left, your chances are that much higher. If you just go in guns blazing from the beginning, good fucking luck.
Ha! You think we're scared of you? He's 10 times worse!
What do you mean your boss is worse? I'm mopping the floor with you.
How the hell do you lunge forward like that? That's cheating shit.
Let's touch on bosses for a second. There's a couple of different bosses in the game. So there's not that many in my opinion. I think that there probably should have been more bosses in the game. So I haven't done every side quest. Maybe there's more secret bosses and stuff like that. But from what I played throughout, like mostly the main story, there wasn't really that many different boss enemies. But the ones that they had were amazing. So I'm not gonna tell you about all of them. I'll showcase a few of them so you can kind of see what's going on. And there's a lot of like really tough fights where they made you do a lot of fighting. However, there wasn't really that many bosses. I will say though that all of the bosses that they did have were really freaking good, really crazy. Even the final boss, who I will not spoil, at least not right at the moment, was extremely difficult and cheap, like classic old school boss style, but they give you plenty of checkpoints, so you don't have to start over from the beginning when you lose.
Trinity Church. Remember, Tinker is yours. But leave the boy alone.
Hey, I know we're gonna have to fight this motherfucker.
So, question for you. Like what you see? No. Well, no problem. You can just switch costumes in the game. So there's a bunch of different costumes in the game. As far as I can tell, none of the ones that I saw were like DLC where you like had to pay. Then again, I could be wrong because I didn't get every single costume. Some of them are locked and I don't know how to unlock them, but I didn't do every side quest. Sometimes you're doing quests and you just unlock something and you don't know, like, you don't know before how to unlock that particular costume. So so far I've unlocked most of them just through playing the game, right? So I like that about this game. Different from the Avengers game where you had to explicitly pay them to get pretty much all the costumes in the game. You had to pay them an extreme amount of money. In this game, I played the game, I unlocked a bunch of costumes. Really fun. There's lots of different skills to unlock, lots of collectibles, lots of different things. You can even go back and listen to people, J. Jonah Jameson rant on about Spider-Man if you want to. Some of the capsules that you and Finn had planted around the city and all these different places. You go and you collect all of those and you can kind of just reminisce on them. There's lots of different things that you can do in the game. So you're really not gonna get bored anytime soon. At least not in my opinion.
Wow, 77%. I just beat the game, but I feel like I got a long way to go.
All right, guys, I'm gonna talk about some spoilers now. So I think it'll be a disservice to talk about this game and not go into detail about some of the story elements because in my opinion, they're some of the best parts of the game. So I'm gonna leave a timestamp somewhere, either here or here, and maybe here, and you can use that, skip ahead somewhere, and it's gonna tell you exactly when all spoilers have ended, okay? But let's get started talking about the spoilers of the story of the game because I really love the story in this game. It made me feel like I was watching an old Spider-Man cartoon, reading a comic book, watching a movie, and I even hope that they do a Miles Morales movie. Are they gonna do a Miles Morales movie? That would be pretty hot. So anyway, what happens in the story, which is one of the main plot elements, you find out who the Tinkerer is. The Tinkerer ends up being Spider-Man's best friend, Finn. Cute little girl, and she's had this traumatizing experience where her brother dies due to new form poisoning, which is Roxxon's chemical that they're planning on using. I guess that story plot point is kind of overused, right? However, it was done really well in this game. You could really feel her pain. They didn't just tell you; they showed you her brother just getting sicker and struggling, and they were trying to take Roxxon down, but inevitably they kind of failed. But she did not give up. She didn't let go. She said, I'm gonna avenge my brother and make sure that no one else gets hurt by new form and Roxxon's use of new form or Roxxon ever again. Unfortunately she takes it too far, and she's a terrorist and she does terrorist things, hurts people, attempts to kill Spider-Man just for getting in her way, which you're always teetering on a slippery slope if you're willing to do to get rid of any obstacle in your way, including a living being.
Shit. Come on, Spider-Man. Come on, man. Get up, bruh.
Give me one good reason not to end you.
My mom would be very upset.
Miles?
Right, so of course, she finds out that you're Miles Morales, her best friend. She's mad at you. In my opinion, Miles should have been mad at her and said like, hey, there was a particular moment where Miles' mom almost died because the underground, which the Tinkerer or Finn leads, attacks an event. she could have attacked any event that Miles' mom wasn't at, but she specifically chose this event. It ends up going wrong and almost killing a bunch of people, including Miles Morales' mom. And I'm like, yo, it's not my fault, chick, it's your fault.
Simon Krieger is a killer. This plaza is a monument to everything he's done. I won't let it open. The underground will stop it.
I got you.
Let's go.
So eventually it all comes to a head. You know, Finn goes loco as a Tinkerer. She's got all these crazy weapons meant to take you out, and she's had enough. And in the end, you have to face off against her. And I was afraid that you were going to have to finish her off. You know, but you know, it's a lady, right? Like, people don't like to hurt women, right? But you don't end up finishing her off. But she realized the error of her ways, and she eventually sacrifices herself in order to undo the damage that she's done. She realized the error of her ways.
It's okay. Just let go. Let go.
Unfortunately, she doesn't make it, you know, and maybe I'll complete the side quest to see if there's some sort of Easter egg where they pretend, you know, like they didn't actually kill her or something, or maybe she's got superpowers and she can survive what happened to her. She like goes up and like to the outer space and explodes or something because of all of Miles' pent up energy. You know, so kind of a sad way to end it. But I feel like it was kind of fitting considering how much damage she had done. And she tried to kill Spider-Man just for trying to stop her from going crazy and blowing up a building. It was pretty wild and radical, you know, but I feel like it was a really good story. I could see something like that being in one of the movies, maybe even more over the top in the movies. But I love the way it was voice acted. I could feel the emotion coming from Finn.
Don't make me kill you! You can't win! Why do you keep fighting?
Because I'm Spider-Man.
I could feel it coming from Miles. I was really touched, and even talking about it right now just makes me want to go play the game, and just to see if there are some additional moments that I could see between those characters.
So, I went to your folks' old shop. Thought you might be there. Looked like there might have been some kind of fight just before I got there. I went inside, looked around, found out about Rick. I'm so sorry.
What else did you find out?
Let me get on the music real quick for y'all. This music was kind of ridiculous. I don't know who did the music for this game, but when I say ridiculous, I mean like this music was tight. They had this like super random, like they like threw in bass everywhere in the music, so it wasn't, you know, they took like the kind of stereotypical type of Spider-Man superhero type music, and they were throwing like some bass and kind of some low-key beatbox type stuff, and it was really good. You know, little pandering-ish, but I mean, hey, it's effective, so I can't hate the play.
Yo, my boy Miles on the scene.
Yeah, these graphics just so clean, yeah, my boy's fade is so mean, yeah, these clean graphics on my screen, what? Are there any negatives to the game? Of course there are. The one thing I'm starting to learn as I play more of these superhero games, you know, I think that they have a very fast turnaround, very quick development cycle. Sure, I think they spend a decent amount of time, but you can kind of see the lack of polish sometimes. It seems like eventually some corners start to get cut, right? So they start cutting the hell out of some corners. I don't think it was just my PlayStation, because I've heard about PS5 users having more issues rather than less. I'm using PS4, don't have a PS5 yet. I suck at life, only PS4 right now, but we're gonna get one, guys. Promise, pinky swear. So there was some glitches toward the end of the game, which is the most important part, to not have glitches. But there were some glitches where you know, there was like some kind of freezing and stuttering, like really bad stuttering. Some of the particle effects, like for the snow, like if you were inside and they wanted to look like snow was going on the outside, they had like this really weird layering where they didn't properly layer it, or it just didn't look right. So they definitely screwed it up. And I'm gonna try to have a clip of that so you can see exactly what I mean, in case you didn't catch it when you play the game. Or I don't know if it was a glitch, or I don't know what the hell it was, but it just was humorous. Sometimes when you're in combat, the enemy will like knock the shit out of you, and you'll like fly through a building or fall through a floor or something crazy. So there's, you know, some glitches like that. Wasn't that common, but it was something that was noticeable. Oh fuck. What's my overall score? I'm gonna jump right to the chase. I gotta give it an 8 out of 10. So the reason the score is an 8, even though I really enjoyed the game, is because the things I mentioned to you, like there's some pretty bad stuttering toward the end, which is the most important part of the game. I had my game freeze at a certain point. I had to restart the game. You know, there's just kind of some problems here and there. There should have been, even though I like some of the enemy variety, I guess I feel like there really wasn't that much enemy variety, so much as a variety of enemy attacks, because the enemies are basically all the same. You fight a lot of them in similar ways. They just have different attacks. If you fight the Roxxon guys, they use a different type of exploding projectile. You fight the underground, they send another type of projectile that does something a little bit different, and you can they throw a bomb and you grab the bomb and throw it back at them. So that's kind of unique, but I feel like there should have been maybe different types of more different types of enemy styles of attacks, or different ways that you had to fight them, because you pretty much have to fight most of the enemies a very similar way. I really love the story. That's where the majority of my points are coming from, is just going around the city and exploring. It's fun. Like, you don't even have to do anything besides just go around webbing, and you'll have a good time, really. I mean, that's honest. Like, that reminds me of Super Mario 64. The first time I played that, just running around jumping and doing nothing, having fun doing nothing, really, just exploring and running around and jumping. In this game, it's the same way. But on top of that, you can go around and do all the quests and all that stuff. Really fun, good story, good soundtrack, everything is solid. It's time to play that shit, y'all. This has been Roshad. Spiderman. Peace. Hey family, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe. Appreciate it. Catch y'all next time.